This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Probably about 10, 15 cars that just speed down this street around 5 o'clock in the evening.
An Indianapolis family is asking for help getting drivers to slow down, so they called RTV6. The advice we were able to get to them from the city.
Families of children with medical needs say their home care nurses are leaving for higher paying jobs. I'm Stephanie Wade at the State House asking what can be done.
And this school says it would rather split with the Catholic Church than turn its back on a quality educator.
What the Archdiocese asked this local prep school to do, and why it would rather lose that bond than lose a faculty member.
Thanks for joining us here at 6 o'clock. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starantino. Tonight, it's a problem many families face across central Indiana.
Drivers zipping past families in residential areas.
One Indianapolis mother says she's scared for her children and wants the city to take action.
Not knowing how to get the city's attention, she called RTV6's Cameron Riddle, who is working for you tonight with advice on how to get something done.
This is baby Wise. He can't walk yet, but his mother fears for the day he can. She says because every time she has to carry him and his big sister across the street, she has to fear for the dozens of cars that speed way too fast past her home.
No cars coming. Look left. No cars coming. All right, let's go. Hold on to 10.
Just steps away from the Taylor family's home on New Jersey Street is the perfect patch of land for a playground. The only problem is getting there while dodging speeding cars has been a challenge.
This is where all the neighborhood kids play. So we come across the street over there. Probably about 4 of these houses down here have kids in them. So we have to cross the street a lot. And of course, I watch them very, very closely, but it still makes me extremely nervous.
Karina Taylor, a wife and mother to baby Wise and his 2-year-old sister London, says during the day, traffic isn't so bad. But during the afternoon rush, drivers use her residential street, which doesn't have speed limit signs posted, as another way to get around the traffic backups on Fall Creek Parkway. To slow drivers down, she's hoping the city will install speed bumps on her street.
I would almost pay for them if we needed to. Speed bumps would really slow down the people speeding through here, especially during rush hour. There's probably about 10, 15 cars that just speed down this street around 5 o'clock in the evening.
On Karina's behalf, we reached out to the city of Indianapolis to see what could be done to make her street safer. They directed us to a city website where you can download a document called the Street Change Policy Petition, which can eventually be submitted to the city. While your petition doesn't guarantee your request will be granted, it is a necessary step residents need to take before a traffic study is initiated to see if these changes are warranted.
Right.
Taylor says that's a task she's willing to take on.
Absolutely. Get with the neighbors and do that. It's a little frustrating that it takes all of that work just to get speed bumps to protect your children on a street.
DPW did respond to our request for what does it take to improve the streets in your neighborhood. They say while they are not an enforcement agency, they do have several links through the mayor's action line and on Request Indy on how you could submit your proposals. We'll have all of that information on theindychannel.com. In Indianapolis, I'm Cameron Riddle, RTV6.
Thank you, Cameron. And if there is not a speed limit sign posted, the speed limit in an Indiana residential area is 30 miles an hour. Now, DPW says if drivers are speeding on your street, you should contact IMPD for a more immediate response.
A worried mother reached out to RTV6 Wednesday night after seeing our stories where we are working for you to hold people accountable for problems. And that's how we started looking into this speeding issue. If you have a problem like this, email us at workingforyou@rtv6.com and we will see if we can help.
Families are calling on state legislators for help. Those who have home health care for children with medical needs say they are struggling to find nurses to properly take care of their kids.
Yeah, and as RTV6's Stephanie Wade explains tonight, this is an issue impacting thousands of Hoosier families.
There are more than 14,000 patients in Indiana's Medicaid home care program right now, meaning that's how many families have at-home nurses to help care for their children with medical needs. But here's the problem they're running into: keeping good, well-trained nurses long enough.
Nails are so pretty.
This is 8-year-old Emma Geller. She has cerebral palsy. Thanks to the aged and disabled Medicaid waiver, she's able to receive home nursing care. Emma's mom, Annie, and her husband both work, so this is a huge help for them.
You get wonderful people, and they are so committed to what they're doing, but at some point it becomes financially not feasible for them anymore.
Annie says their home care nurses keep leaving for higher paying jobs at hospitals or other facilities.
That makes it hard. You don't have stability, you don't have reliability, so it comes to the point of, oh my gosh, I don't think we have a nurse today who's calling in sick to work.
In the past 6 years, Emma's worked with dozens of different nurses.
Oh, a lot. I would say probably at least 20 or 25.
In general, there are states that pay better than Indiana does.
Evan Reinhart with the Indiana Association for Home and Hospice Care says in some cases, nurses on the facility side can make double what home care nurses do. Do you think that the reimbursement rate right now is high enough?
No, it's not.
And legislators recognize it too.
We're trying to put more money into the hands and make so those home care providers can be competitive when they're competing against hospitals and other healthcare providers.
We're seeing much more of a response from the legislature. Now it's a question of, can we see some dollars put behind these services?
And if not?
My fear is that families like ours will lose care, and I don't know what we would do.
Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Well, the legislature has already decided on the budget for next year, but the state also has a $2 billion surplus right now. Families are asking the Office of Family and Social Services Administration to dedicate some of that money toward increasing the Medicaid reimbursement rate for home health care. They have until June 30th to make that decision. If you feel inspired by this story, families urge you to call your state lawmaker.
A local school says it is splitting with the Catholic Archdiocese over Indianapolis because it refused to fire a gay teacher. Rebuff Jesuit Preparatory School says the Archdiocese is no longer going to recognize it as a Catholic school. The Board of Trustees says the formal decree will likely come down tomorrow. Rebuff says it declined to dismiss a highly capable and qualified teacher over that teacher being in a same-sex marriage after the Archdiocese demanded it.
He's a longtime valued member of the school. He's an excellent teacher, highly qualified, and so we've had open dialogue with him as well, and he feels very supported.
Rebuff says this decision will not change the school's identity and it will still serve as a Catholic school. The Archdiocese says Rebuff can no longer use the name Catholic when labeling itself.
The cleanup will continue in Beech Grove for a while. We're getting a new look at that tornado that touched down, damaging Beech Grove High School. This is surveillance video we're showing you, released today by the school. Check out what happened in the school's southwest parking lot. An RV is there, and the winds pick up, overturning another vehicle. Then people hurriedly run from that RV to get out of harm's way. The school did suffer some damage, but school administrators say that it will be covered by insurance.
Oh, I'm on. All right, well, cool. I was walking over so where am I supposed to be? Wherever I want to be? Just walk around?
Pick a spot. Pick a spot.
Okay.
3 spots in here.
7¼ inches of rain. That's so far this month in central Indiana. The rainfall has been turned off for a while. That's the good news. And temperatures across the state, they're falling into the 50s. You got to enjoy that. Temperatures in the morning will be as cool as they will be over the next week. So enjoy. Humidity's down. We're dry. I think our shower and thunderstorm chances will return as we get to late afternoon and into the evening hours tomorrow. There's one hole in the cloud cover. You got to love that. I think gradually we'll get partly cloudy skies tonight. Temperatures with the wind out of the northwest are falling and the humidity as well. 70 degrees in Indy, 77 in Bedford, Terre Haute at 74. As you see this wind that's been gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour, it will generally be around 10 by the time we get to the morning hours tomorrow. Some light fog develops, 58 degrees, 61 by 8 a.m. We'll pick it up from there. Talk about our thunderstorm chances through the weekend coming up.
A small Clinton County town is experiencing a mini crime wave. Vehicles are being broken into at an alarming rate.
At least one gun was stolen in the break-ins, and police are imploring citizens to lock their vehicles. RTV6's Derek Thomas has that story from Roseville.
Welcome to Roseville. It has a population of about 1,500 people. Traditionally, crime is low, but since Sunday, there have been 10 vehicle break-ins. This is Ryan Pritchett's driveway. This is a picture of his vehicle. Thieves broke in it and stole his laptop, an iPad, and a drone.
Very concerning because we're in a small town. We all know each other here. I've lived here for 4 years. I'd walk off and leave my house completely open and come up here to the gas station, take my kids for walks to the park. And now we all have to lock up and lock our vehicles, everything.
Police have developed some leads.
Following up on some security camera video from local businesses that has helped us ID what we believe to be the suspect.
So are you looking for more than one person? If so, why do you say that?
We are looking for more than one person because the video is showing a group of individuals, we believe to be 3 of them.
That said, people here are modifying their behavior. David Bushfield put additional lights on his driveway.
We have 7 kids all together, and last night we had some home from college, and everybody parked in the same drive with the lights on.
So you want to keep those thieves away?
If they do want to try to sneak around, they're going to have to risk putting themselves out in light to be exposed.
In one of the break-ins, a gun was stolen. The community is hoping the thieves are arrested quickly and normalcy returns.
We want our small community to stay small and safe.
You don't need this.
No, we don't need it at all.
Late this afternoon, 18-year-old Michael Hurley was arrested. He faces a preliminary charge of theft. In Roseville, Derek Thomas, RTV6.
Now, police executed a search warrant at the suspect's house. Most of the property taken during the thefts has been recovered, including the gun.
Coming up, he refused to call trans students by their chosen names, and his resignation made headlines.
Now, new developments with a former teacher, why he's taking his battle to court.
And RTV6 is following the problem of food inequity in our streets, the continuing conversation between 2 mayoral candidates on how to encourage more grocery growth in Indianapolis.
We've got all that and a deeper look at your weekend and 7-day forecast. That's all still ahead. You're watching RTV6 News at 6.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
New today, a former teacher in Brownsburg is taking the school district to court. He says it's because his First Amendment rights were violated. Last year, John Klug resigned as an orchestra teacher in Brownsburg after he refused to call transgender students by their preferred names. Klug then tried to rescind his resignation, but it was accepted by the school board before he could do so. Now Klug has filed a federal lawsuit against the school district, claiming they violated his rights to free speech and the freedom to practice his religion. Klug had challenged the requirement in Brownsburg that teachers call transgender students by their preferred names, saying it went against his religious beliefs. So far, the school district has not commented on the lawsuit.
Just one day after RTV6 reports on the growing need for more grocery stores in parts of Indianapolis, mayoral candidate and state senator Jim Merritt makes moves to address food inequity. Now, this week we told you about how A&I variety meats and produce on the northeast side may have to close. That would create another food desert in the city and further the idea of food apartheid, an issue Merritt says affects Indianapolis. Merritt says the way to get businesses like A&I to stick around and populate the area is to create more funds to incentivize the creation of more bodegas.
Establish a bodega, a corner grocery. 3 bodegas in Indianapolis now. They're cutting the ribbon on the 3rd one today. They have low overhead. They recapture food and sell it, and it's a great business model.
Merritt says 1 in 5 people have limited access to healthy food options near their homes in Indianapolis and laid out a plan today to address that problem. We reached out to Merritt's opponent for the city's mayoral race, current Mayor Joe Hogsett, and asked for his response. Here's a statement from the mayor's office. Quote, "We applaud Senator Merritt for highlighting a number of initiatives that Mayor Hogsett has implemented in tackling food insecurity," end quote. The mayor's office highlighted the creation of a director of food insecurity and a food insecurity summit.
The 2 U.S. senators from Indiana are remembering the late Senator Richard Lugar by honoring his service in the U.S. Navy. Lugar, also a former mayor of Indianapolis, died in April at the age of 87. Senators Todd Young and Mike Braun have introduced an amendment to name the next destroyer warship after Lugar. Lugar served as an officer from 1957 to 1960 as an intelligence officer. Young and Braun are also looking to rename the Indianapolis Post Office after Senator Lugar.
Well, I thought you'd find this interesting, just talking about rainfall and how spotty it can be. Now, we've all had widespread rain, but I'm just talking about how spotty as far as heavy rainfall. The official rain gauge is here at the airport. So we've had 7¼ inches at Indianapolis International Airport. If you go about 8 or 9 miles up to Eagle Creek, the rain gauge there, 3.6, so 3.5 inch difference just there in Marion County, just so you can see elsewhere. There's some other rainfall totals. Bloomington, Terre Haute have had a lot of rain as well. Those of you from Seymour to north of Bedford, I am sure, have had 7 to maybe 10 inches of rain in localized spots. What we don't have right now in central Indiana is any rain. Nice break. 70 degrees, that's our current temperature in Indianapolis. Cooler to the north and west. That west wind has been strong today, and it's been enjoyable. It's pushed the humidity out of the state for a while, lowered temperatures, and sets us up for a very refreshing overnight period. Temperatures all within a degree or two of 70 right now. Rain chances will increase tomorrow, especially tomorrow night. Then Saturday night, and as we get to Sunday and Monday, the 2 wettest days in the forecast. Temperature trend is up. Over the weekend, actually, humidity comes back up, temperatures rise, and then our rain chances will climb as well. Temperatures tomorrow in the 70s, close to 80 degrees. It'll just depend on when we start to see some thunderstorms. We'll definitely see clouds increase through the day. The best chance of thunderstorms will be Terre Haute, Bloomington, areas to the west and southwest in the afternoon. 4 o'clock, Terre Haute, Bloomington, Spencer, some downpours. Those slide to the south and east. That won't be the only round, though. Tomorrow night, we'll begin to see late in the evening, between 7 and 11, some overnight thunderstorms cutting through the southwest portion of the state. There's another little complex there, and that's Saturday morning, and that will dive to the south and east. Weekend forecast, again, planning outdoor activities. You just need to be patient. They will get interrupted, especially second half of the weekend. Saturday, depending on the timing of the thunderstorms in the morning, those may move through and calm things for a while, but Saturday night and Sunday, thunderstorms are likely. Here's your 7-day planner. Temperatures never get too carried away, but we're up to 86 with all that humidity on Sunday. We'll have more of a tropical feel. Our rain chances, minimal. We're more likely to be dry Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. That's why I've got to spin it. Instead of telling you the probability of rain, tell you that it's more likely it won't rain, right?
And we'll see.
Nice to hear.
That is looking at
I want to be positive.
The silver lining in the clouds there, I guess, so to speak, right?
Well, we have Brad Brown standing by with some breaking news.
That's right. Stuff from the Pacers coming down the line in just the last few minutes. And ESPN reporting that Indiana is getting T.J. Warren from the Phoenix Suns in a draft night trade. Also, the number 32 pick in tonight's second round. Only a cash exchange from the Pacers to Phoenix. Warren scored 18 points per game last season, shot 43% from the field. The move would leave the Pacers with $31 million under the salary cap and perhaps some more moves in order as the night goes on. Well, good evening, everyone. The Pacers pick 18th in the first round of the draft tonight. For now, certainly doesn't seem like a very intriguing pick, but over the years, there have been many players selected in the teens that eventually turned out to be stars. The Pacers won't be necessarily trying to find an immediate impact player in this draft. They have talked during the process about finding a guy they can develop. Part of that will be sorting out who is the best fit for the franchise, and much of that will come from getting some input from the players who are already here.
Everybody's going to have their challenges here or there, and I think it's important to understand where we can help them, and maybe where they're a little rough around the edges, that we can help them grow into the kind of guys that we like to have around here, and then we rely on the guys that are already here. You rely on Vic and Miles and Domas and those guys that are here to help bring them along into what we've tried to be.
Could be an interesting night. We shall see. Dylan Windler put together a solid career at Perry Meridian High School, did the same at Belmont University. A stellar senior season and a March surge could find him soon on an NBA roster. Windler is being projected as an early second-round pick in several mock draft write-ups. He lit up the Ohio Valley Conference and the NCAA tourney back in March. 35 points and 11 rebounds in his final game as he led Belmont to its first big dance. He scored more than 1,600 points in his college career. Windler was here in Indy to work out for the Pacers last month.
Been very surreal. It happened quick. Like you said, I came in as a freshman. I was just happy, to be at Belmont and get a Division I offer. My recruiting happened pretty fast, so there was a point in time where I didn't know if I was going to be playing at the next level in college. So, I was just happy at that point to just be a role player for that team and do the little things I could. And then, I was just working on my game every summer, just trying to be the best player that I can be. And, I got better every year.
Dylan will be watching tonight with family and friends down in Nashville. Well, some recent stars of the NBA are in Indy this weekend. The third season of the Big Three comes to Bankers Life Fieldhouse on Sunday. Today, a couple players took some time to shoot hoops and talk with local kids. Bonzi Wells and Andre Owens over at Frederick Douglass Park. Some great time spent with the kids there. Both guys are part of the 3-on-3 league that is filled with some very big names. The Big Three action starts at 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. I'll have more on the NBA draft. We'll look ahead to IndyCar's weekend in Wisconsin, and Jim Irsay spends $5 million on what? That's all tonight at 11. We'll see you then. Back to wrap up the news at 6 next.
Indiana Honda dealers now.
Welcome back. Brown County State Park and its lodge will remain closed through the weekend.
Yeah, heavy rainfall is still having an impact on drinking water in the park. Officials say there's still too much sediment from heavy rains coming into the water system.
Several free programs at the park Friday and Saturday have been relocated to the Brown County Visitor Center in Nashville.
Look who's ready for a walk. Sweet Pea is staring
Sweet Pea.
It's finally a good evening to go for a walk. We don't have to dodge any showers or thunderstorms. Comfortable, nice breeze, low humidity. I could continue to throw in beautiful adjectives to describe how nice our weather is, but I got to save some.
All right, Sweet Pea, go get it.
Okay. Sweet Pea will keep being Sweet Pea.
I almost typed in Sweat Pea, and then I was
totally
misspelling. See you at that.